Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Triple W podcast. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Listen, you guys, it has been a couple weeks, but there's been some exciting times in Wizards land, so we can't wait to start chatting with you all. I am your host. I say host because it's all four of us, but Seaball, Sports and Entertainment. But before we get going, I guess we got to get through our songs, right, ladies?
Yes, ma'am.
always.
So, oh, this is like the hardest part for me. But this week, I am vibing to still DMX. I think that our last episode, DMX was ill, but as you all know, he did pass away in the last week or so. So many shout outs to DMX. Rest in peace. Many prayers to him and his family. My song is Flippin' by DMX.
It's a good one.
So, Carita, what is your song that you're vibing to this week?
Well, I'm about to get a little sentimental because as we know, yesterday the George Floyd verdict came down for the case where the officer was on his neck for over 8 minutes. So I actually came into today's show knowing my song. And due to that, it was a guilty verdict. I'm going with Glory by John Legend and Common. Like, that's just the song that came to my mind. It was a bittersweet verdict, like happy for it, but also just makes you reflect. So that's my song for this week.
Awesome song. Can't wait to see that and hear that on our playlist. So, Bre, what is your song that you're vibing to this week?
Yeah, mine is kind of on the same lines of Carita. It's Bless Up by Kareen Hawthorne. And I just think, again, like, of course, we're sad about what happened, but we're moving, hopefully, in a better direction for our country, for the world. And, you know, hopefully blessings will continue to come down on their family, on the Floyd family, and just for all the other stolen lives by police and by gun violence. So, yeah.
Definitely another great song for certain. And closing us out with our songs for this week, Miss Becca, what song are you vibing to this week?
So this week, I wanted to pick a uplifting song as well. So I chose "Be All Right" by Ariana. It's always a good upbeat song when you're waking up in the morning and you just want some good vibes. You cannot go wrong. Well, I'm biased. I'm a huge fan, but that's what I'm sticking with. So
Yes. So listen, everybody, make sure you are following our playlist on Spotify. We upload these songs each and every week. So, with that being said, I think it's time for Wizards Talk. I will turn it over to Carita.
Yes, it's time for Wizards Talk, and we have a lot of great things to talk about. The Wizards have gone 7-1 in their last 8 games. I know last time we talked, you know, we were a little worried. They were slightly on the up and up, but we weren't sure. Now they're on another win streak. They are 11th in the standings. And they're also just one game behind the Chicago Bulls. So suddenly they are making a playoff push, trying to get into that play-in tournament. Ladies, what do you think about the performance the Wizards have put on? I know we kind of talked about we all said they were going to fight, right? And we see that they're doing that. Do we think the Wizards are going to make the playoffs? But part 2 of that, I've been also seeing fans say, hey, like, is it even worth them going to the playoffs and giving up that high lottery pick? So then part 2 of that question is, what do you think about that thought process as well? So let's start with Becca, because Becca's smiling.
I'm smiling. I am smiling because I made a post about this recently, and I just kind of explained that, you know, a team with Russell Westbrook is not doesn't plan to tank. And personally, I think they should go for a playoff push and they should continue their success because the rest of the season is going to determine for Bradley Beal if he wants to stay or not. So in my opinion, I would rather have them have a, a 9, 10, 11, 12 pick and make the playoffs and keep Bradley Beal than get a higher pick. That's just me. But of course they're not going to tank. This is going to define whether Bradley Beal stays or goes the rest of the season.
Yes, and he's breaking records. Russell Westbrook is breaking records, even though they say that it doesn't matter. But still, like, just knowing that it's worth it, that finally, okay, we got a closer step to our goal. Like, no matter how far they go, if they make it into the playoffs, like, they got there. And so that's like a positive direction. So I don't think they're going to tank either.
Yeah, I mean, in our last episode, as Carita, you mentioned, we shared, we wanted them to keep fighting. And this is the result of continuing to fight. And I think we've heard all season long in these press conferences, the team believed in themselves. They wholeheartedly believed they were better than what the scoreboard was showing. And they're showing it. Kudos to Brad. Brad has been balling consistently all season long. Westbrook was dealing with injuries early on, but we're seeing vintage Brody out there. So everyone's contributing. So this is good. Let's keep pushing.
I absolutely agree with everything you ladies said. These guys are playing their best basketball of the season at the perfect time. They are peaking when they need to peak. And that's what I think is different from this last win streak is they got all their guys back. Everyone is healthy except for Rui. He's coming. They're getting him back soon.
Yep.
So you're going into this push with everyone healthy, which is so key. They've been up and down all year when it comes to health. So now we got a healthy Wizards team. They're gelling. They're feeling it. So I don't care what anybody says. I want to see the Wizards in the playoffs, even for themselves. Like, they deserve it. They've been through a lot of adversity this season. They deserve to make it to the playoffs and feel like, we could do this.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm never, and we all talked about this on our last episode. We're not fans of tanking. We're not tanking for a pick, and for draft position. These are top tier athletes. Let's get it. Let's go to the playoffs. Straight up.
Well, okay, on that note, someone who is going to be straight up important to the Wizards, I think, during this playoff push is a newbie to the team. Daniel Gafford. Ladies, we have not had an opportunity to talk about him. He's only played 7 or 8 games with the Wizards, but this guy has made an immediate impact. He had that short stint of being injured, and I'm glad it wasn't like a long injury, but he is a lob threat. He's a two-way player, a beast on the offensive end and the defensive end. He's a blocker. He shut down Zion Williamson when they played the Pelicans. I mean, he's a rim protector. What else can I say? But he's making an immediate impact, averaging 11 points a game. What do you think about Gafford and the contributions that he's been making to the team? From my perspective, the Wizards won the trade on this one.
Yeah. They absolutely did. I just want to say that I don't think I've ever seen anybody block Zion. So kudos to Gafford. Like, seriously, like, he was stuffing everyone that game. He had 4 blocks. The next game, he had 4 blocks. He is just consistent with his play. He plays meaningful minutes, and the Wizards just need that little effort on defense. Like, this is something we've been missing for a while. So the fact that Tommy Shepard was able to pick him up, and I mean, he's on a good contract too. We can keep him for a while. I mean, it's a huge win, and he's definitely going to be valuable in the future for sure.
Yes, and he, as you mentioned, he's a beast. Like, he's hungry, and you can see that. He's been on a few different teams, and usually Wizards are on the opposite side, where it's like we have someone, they go somewhere else, and they just flourish, and they're amazing. But it's like, it's good to have it now for benefiting this team, and so I'm excited to see more from him, and it's great to see how he has gelled with Brad, with Russ, with Rui, with all of our players. It's great to see.
Yeah, you ladies, y'all, everyone has already said everything I was going to. I think it was that Pelicans game where I was literally in my living room yelling like, "Okay, all right."
Like, who is this guy?
Right.
No. And I agree with we won the trade. At last, the Wizards
Yes.
won.
At last.
The Wizards won a trade. And this is good. He's got great energy. He wants to compete. He wants to be a contributor, a true utility player. I love everything that we've seen thus far out of Daniel Gafford.
Yeah, and I think it's really funny because when he played his first game, he didn't know the playbook like that. So he was like, but, I was studying up as much as I can because I didn't want to miss a play and have Russell Westbrook yell at me or something. So it's just like so funny how he was studying because he didn't want no smoke. I mean, and that's just a joke. Russell's just a leader. So he knew that coming in and he just didn't want any issues with Russell Westbrook. So I love that about him. Like, hadn't even played the game yet. It was already in the book. So, well, ladies, like we said, the Wizards are on this playoff push. A part of that is their game tonight against the Warriors. Steph Curry is coming to town. Fans are back. Fans are back at the perfect time as well. So I'm feeling good about them going forward. The Warriors will definitely be a test, though. By far, we beat them last time. Can we do it again? It remains to be seen. But there's more. In the next segment, I'm going to go ahead and transition over to Becca. We're going to continue this conversation in our What's Happening in the NBA.
So it's just a coincidence that tonight's topic is the league leader in scoring. Couple nights ago, Steph Curry passed our guy, Bradley Beal. He was playing against the Sixers, and he decided to drop their 49 points. Excuse me, Bradley Beal only had 30 that night. So now, it seemed like Bradley Beal most of the season, he didn't have that much competition, he was pretty much up there and everybody else was down here. But Steph Curry came out of nowhere and he's like, hey, here I am. So I just want to get your thoughts. Do you guys think that there's potential for Brad to finish out as the league leader? Or do you think Steph Curry is just playing out of his mind and there's not a chance? What are y'all thinking?
I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be a slugfest. Steph is playing out of his mind. He is Steph Curry. But at the same time, our guy, Brad Beal, plays out of his mind too. So I just think that this is going to really come down to the end of the season, and we're going to see who makes it to the top. But I would definitely not count Bradley Beal out whatsoever.
Yeah, and as we said, with the fans being there tonight, I already know, even though it's not going to be exactly the same, but still, just to have people there, just to see them cheering for them, and especially I think it's majority the season ticket holders. So these are people that have been with the team, through good times, through bad times. They've had the support of the team, so it's just going to be a really great environment, and it's definitely going to be a showdown.
I agree with everybody. It is going to be a slugfest. I think, of course, I'm sure Brad is focusing on, that playoff push. But at the same token, I'm pretty sure he's like, let me go ahead and keep scoring these 30 plus games. Because he's such an active contributor as well. I mean, the reality is when Brad plays well, the team plays well, and they have such great energy right now. Steph Curry is looking like a video game out there. We're not acting like Steph Curry is not just doing some amazing things. But yeah, we're not counting Brad out. Never. Mm-mm.
And I love seeing that Brad. I think it's after the past couple of games that after the game is over, he's going back to the court. He's putting up shots and he's like working on it. He's like, dang, I missed this. Like, why did I miss that shot? I'm going to keep working and working. Like, even after you played a whole game, like, he's going right out there. That's why he's been late a couple times. The media availability, but it's all good. Like, we see the work. And, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun tonight.
Definitely be fun. Only other comment I'll make is if by any chance Steph passes Bradley Beal up, it's because Brad kind of alluded to the other day that he doesn't have to score as many points now because he's got a lot more help. Mm-hmm. And, the Warriors are struggling. So it's all on Steph a little bit from a help perspective. So that's my only comment on that is Brad doesn't have to score 50 points like that anymore because everybody's starting to contribute.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'll say one thing about it. If Steph Curry ends up taking over Beal's spot permanently, Brad is not going down without a fight. He's going to give it all he has. And, if you're second to Steph Curry, I mean, you're still doing something right, in my opinion. So I'm cool with it. That's all I got to say. Either way, I expect Brad to put up huge numbers tonight. He knows who he's playing against, and I hope the Wizards find a way to magically stop Curry. I don't know how. I don't know how possible that is, but that's my hope. So that being said, I guess we have a woman in sports spotlight we need to cover, right? So I'll pass it on to Bre.
Yes. So for today's episode, our woman in sports spotlight goes to Candace Parker. Now I know everybody knows who Candace is. She recently had a birthday, so I wanted to give her a happy belated birthday. Yes.
Should we sing happy birthday?
Not tonight. Not tonight.
But if you have no idea who Candace is, which I don't know how that's possible, but anyways, if you don't know who she is actually one of the most decorated female basketball players pretty much ever. She was the first pick in the 2008 WNBA draft. She is a WNBA champion. She is a WNBA Finals MVP. She's a two-time WNBA MVP. She's a two-time gold medalist. And she is a WNBA Rookie of the Year. And on top of all of those amazing accomplishments, she is a mother to her beautiful daughter. And she wants to make sure, like, she's someone, along with a lot of the other WNBA players that we've spotlighted on this show and who play in the league, they want to build a better future for young athletes, but also young women that are coming up. And Candace did an interview with The Uninterrupted, and she talks about just building a better future for women in sports and for her daughter.
Obviously the back to the kitchen references, the make a sandwich references. There's a lot of people that think that women athletes shouldn't be out there being more than athletes.
Of course.
And I think the thing that irritates me the most is you cannot fight for equality with your own agenda. That's not equality.
What do you mean? You mean
so if I'm, and there's a lot of African-American young males that are on Instagram and their profile picture is Black Lives Matter, and then you're commenting on me that I need to get back in the kitchen. It doesn't work that way. You can't have equality for one. Equality is equal. Like the word is in there.
It's derived from equal.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so I think that's the thing that I think disappoints me, and that's what makes me want to fight harder. I have a daughter. You have a daughter.
Yep.
And I don't want her to be born at a disadvantage just because she's a girl. I'm very honest with her. We have a lot of talks and conversations, but I think that the world is going to be better for her. I hope that that's what I'm doing right now, is that she doesn't see the difference of being a little girl.
Yeah, and so we're excited to see all the upcoming accomplishments that she's going to have. We see her on TNT going back and forth with Shaq and everybody else. We're excited. We're excited to see her back on the court, and she's going to be playing for her hometown in Chicago, the Chicago Sky. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and the Chicago Sky, they are the first game against the Mystics with the season that kicks off in just a couple weeks. So that'll definitely be fun.
Yes.
Exciting.
Kudos to Candace.
Kudos to
Yay.
Candace.
And happy birthday again.
Happy birthday.
So, ladies, is this like a record for us? I think this is like the fastest we ever.
Should we keep rambling? I don't know.
Yes.
Did we cover everything? I think we did. We absolutely did. So, listen, you guys, make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at W Pod. All of us have our social media handles here. So make sure you're following each one of us as well. Listen, the Wizards are going to keep pushing, right?
Yeah.
Let's hope so. They're going to keep pushing. Well, until next time, can't wait to see you guys again.
Bye, guys.